minutes. What are we gonna talk about, y'all? What about?
And even further down, it's even more of a mystery. Even though the geological processes taking place down there literally created the land we stand on today. And at the literal core of it all is the Earth's inner dynamism. A rotating core that generates
your free will. Your higher self is always aware of the bigger picture and the premium contract, and it's going to trigger that response. Like, no, keep going.
There was a time, let's say 20 to maybe 30 billion years ago, when the universe as we know it today did not exist. In fact, at that time, time itself did not exist in the same way that we experience it. There was nothing. But try and imagine nothing. It's nearly impossible. The first thing that might come to your mind is darkness. But even darkness is something. It's darkness.
How about...
Okay, maybe empty space. Empty space is something.
Want to talk about something really mind-blowing? Like the universe? How about... Okay, here's the question of the day, people. Here's the question. If the world really came from nothing... Alright, that show's bothering me. Okay, if the world really came from nothing, what did the nothing come from? Want to talk about that? Hey, Lexi! Hey, Boo! Hey, Lexi, since you're here, are you gonna be at the clinic in the morning? Do you want to come on camera with me? Well, so anyways, obviously I just started. I'm trying to think of a topic. I want to talk about aliens or something along those lines, like conspiracy theory shit tonight. I want to do something fun because I want to get stoned and talk about goofy shit. So, my main question: if the universe came from nothing, where did the nothing come from? Ooh. Mind blow. So, that's what we're gonna fucking talk about. I'm gonna play this video here. If the universe came from nothing. What's the title of the video? This is nothing. So who created the nothing? Where did the nothing come from? Nothing's not a thing. There's always been energy. Is that energy God? Well, we're about to find out, motherfuckers. Let's take a little trip down the conspiracy rabbit hole.
It can be challenging to comprehend the concept that there may not have been anything before the Big Bang. Some people compare this idea to asking what is north of the North Pole, as there is no answer because there is no such thing as north of the North Pole. Similarly, it may be difficult to understand how everything we see and even that which is beyond our visibility once existed within an infinitesimally small point, surrounded by emptiness.
I'm happy to say when I don't have an answer to something. I don't know. The proper question would be what started it? Because who implies that there's some kind of human entity, but I don't know. And if I don't know, I'm going to say I don't know. There are people, though, among us, who, when they don't know something, they still have to have an answer. Think of the people who spot UFOs in the sky. There's some light moving in a way they don't understand, so it's an unidentified flying object. But listen to what they do next. They say, wow, I don't know what I'm looking at. It must therefore be intelligent aliens visiting us from outer space. You have not justified that you now know what it is after you just said you don't know what it is. So if I don't know how the answer here, I'm not going to assert that.
Right.
According to the Big Bang Theory, the universe began as a singularity, a point of infinite density and temperature. At this time, the universe was thought to be filled with a vast amount of energy and no matter. The singularity is thought to have expanded rapidly and cooled as it expanded. As the universe cooled, the energy present in the early universe...
But where the fuck did the singularity come from?
...which eventually combined to form the first atoms. With our current understanding of the origin of the universe, scientists were able to put different timelines of what happened during the Big Bang into different epochs. The first was the Planck epoch. This was the very first epoch of the universe, lasting from 10 to minus 43 seconds to 10 to minus 36 seconds after the Big Bang. During this time, the universe was incredibly hot and dense, and the fundamental forces of nature were not yet distinct. The Grand Unification epoch, this epoch lasted from 10 to the minus 36 seconds to 10 to the minus 32 seconds after the Big Bang. During this time, the temperature of the universe cooled enough for the fundamental forces of nature to become distinct. The inflationary epoch, this epoch lasted from 10 to the minus 32 seconds to 10 to the minus 12 seconds after the Big Bang.
I don't know what any of this means, by the way. I have no idea.
Known as inflation. This expansion smoothed out the universe and set the stage for the formation of the first structures. The electroweak epoch, this epoch lasted from 10 to the minus 12 seconds to 10 to the minus 6 seconds after the Big Bang. During this time, the temperature of the universe cooled enough for the electroweak force to break into the electromagnetic force and the weak nuclear force. The quark-gluon plasma epoch, this epoch lasted from 10 to the minus 6 seconds to 10 to the minus 4 seconds after the Big Bang. During this time, the universe was filled with a hot, dense plasma of quarks and gluons, which would eventually cool and combine to form protons and neutrons. The hadron epoch, this epoch lasted from 10 to the minus 4 seconds to 10 to the minus 2 seconds after the Big Bang. During this time, the universe cooled enough for quarks and gluons to combine and form hadrons, such as protons and neutrons. The lepton epoch, this epoch lasted from 10 to the minus 2 seconds to 1 second after the Big Bang. During this time, the temperature of the universe...
This is crazy, guys. I don't understand any. This is like quantum physics we're talking about here.
lasted from 1 second to 380,000 years after the Big Bang. During this time, the universe was filled with a hot, dense plasma of protons, neutrons, and electrons, which would eventually cool and combine to form atoms. Singularities are fascinating because they represent a point where the fundamental laws of gravity are in the universe. However, Einstein's general relativity breaks down and becomes mathematical nonsense. Relativity, remember, it is the theory that describes space and time. But at singularities, not only do the spatial dimensions disappear, but so does time. Essentially, asking questions about...
A singularity is what they think the center of a black hole is. It is like the densest freaking form of gravity. Like at the center of a black hole, the way that they explain it, it has the mass of the sun inside the size of a grain of rice. Like, could you imagine a grain of rice being as heavy as the sun? That's crazy. But anyways, that's how they think the universe started, was within a singularity. But that still doesn't explain where the singularity came from. It doesn't explain the singularity. God is what they're saying. Always has been and always will be, always been and always was, and fucking all that shit. The Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. That's mind-blowing to think about, though, guys, that there's a being out there that was never created, just has always been and always will be. The singularity. Because where the fuck did the singularity come from? We're gonna blow your fucking minds tonight, y'all. We're gonna blow your fucking minds.
It is a temporary change in the amount of energy at a point in space. It is a fundamental prediction of